From the sidelines, we gotta hustle because we gotta eat.
What up, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Sideline Hustle. This is your host, Drew Lieberman, bringing you a Week 9 NFL update. Before we get started, I also have a big announcement for you guys. Anybody who's been following me and following Sideline Hustle for a long time will be very excited to hear that this is officially reintroducing Routes Like Picasso. We had a show called Routes Like Picasso where we counted down the top 10 routes in the NFL every single week. It blew up. It kind of blew our brand up, brought me a lot of recognition in the wide receiver space and just continued to boost everything we're building. Kind of took that Routes Like Picasso and all the content we were doing when I earned all that attention from NFL athletes and they were curious about working with me, kind of went all in on focusing on training, focusing on being in the trenches with my guys. And we kind of left the content aside for a while. It was hard to manage both. Felt like, opening us up to just overall content and having it come from the source, come from the training source was just a lot to manage for everyone, especially when we hadn't gotten the results we were looking for. Now we're here. We have a lot of guys playing great. I feel like I've grown a ton as a coach, as just an overall analyst of receiver play. And when it comes to the Sideline Hustle, this is what we do best, right? We're going to talk a lot about, inside looks into the NFL from my perspective, from my players' perspectives. We're going to continue to give you guys some of that behind the scenes information, but what we do here at the Sideline Hustle is teach route running. We teach the game of football in high detail, especially focusing on route running, focusing on getting better. And we love giving this back to the fans and giving back to the audience, but especially to young receivers and coaches who want to learn the details of the game at a high level. Eventually, this show is going to include a lot of my athletes, bringing all the different personalities on, all the members of the Sideline Hustle family. But officially today, this is the first episode of 2023 Routes Like Picasso. And let's get right into it, man. We're going to start off with the top routes of Week 9 in the NFL. Don't exactly have a top 10 countdown like we used to do. I'm more so talking about some of the best things I've seen, organizing them into themes so we can really learn the game through route running and learn the game, in a very detailed way. So let's get going. Let's get right into it. First route I want to talk about is this hinge route that A.J. Brown ran versus Steph Gilmore. Really good route here. Hinge route, deep stop, depending on your system, depending on what people call it. All right, and AJ wins this route with his body language, right? With his demeanor, with running this route with no indicators, selling go ball to the final second. And when you look at Gilmore right here, Gilmore is trying to cover this route with his mind. He's not trying to cover it with his physical ability. He's taking a lot of cushion. He's reading the quarterback, and you can see him here in Gilmore in his drop. He's trying to see the quarterback and see AJ at the same time. But when you don't really have full eyes on AJ, right, all you're really doing is looking for indicators. You're looking for him to raise up, or you're looking for a loss of speed so that now you can get more aggressive as the cornerback and start to jump something. AJ doesn't give him anything to jump, right? Look at his body language. Look at this demeanor. Look at this attack. He comes off the ball full stride. That's the first thing we look for, full stride. AJ is doing this thing where he puts his head down, which a lot of receivers do. I don't really love. I don't really think it has a crazy effect on the DB, and then you're losing vision on him. But can't hate on this one, right? The first one I don't love. The second one I actually think is a little bit tricky, right? Because he actually pairs it with a speed burst and he puts his head down. It actually does kind of give the illusion that he's trying to run by Gilmore. And that's when Gilmore really has to commit over the top and start to burst himself over the top because he's trying to read through 10 yards, 7, 8, 9 yards. Gilmore's trying to figure out, when is he going to stop? Let me jump this route. And AJ's body language is just too good, right? Full stride, not breaking stride, no indicators, no loss of speed, no loss of energy, not raising his body language up. And then he does a great job sinking his hips, right? He gets to the point of no return where he breaks 21's cushion. He breaks Gilmore's cushion. And now watch his balance at the top of this route. He slams his hips down, right? Very good job being balanced. Hips are dropping right here. Violent feet in the break area. And now he's in a place where he is in an attack position right here, right? We're going to watch another hinge route right after this where the receiver was kind of more on his heels. He didn't have great balance at the top, so which allows it so he couldn't create a yak opportunity. AJ is able to finish this route and create a yak opportunity for himself because he does such a great job stopping. He's balanced at the top. Now he can get his feet underneath him. And anytime we see the ball where it's not on us right away out of the break, we know that the corner is closing on us. He's closing on where we stop the route. So when we're waiting on the ball, we don't want to just wait as a sitting duck. We call it circling back to the football, right? We got to wait on the ball, go attack the football now, circle back, go meet the ball in the air. And now we're catching this ball with momentum, catching the ball at full speed, and we're able to create a yak opportunity back inside. Really good job from AJ. Great route, great balance at the top, and then that allowed him to create a really good full speed yak opportunity where he goes from stopped, sticks his feet in the ground, creates momentum before the ball is caught, to now we're already running at full speed by the time we catch this football, and that gives us 5, 6, 7 more yards on this catch. Really good job by A.J. Brown. Now, in comparison, here's Romeo Doubs. Another really good body language rep here, right? He wins this route, running this hinge route, running this deep stop with body language at the top, right? No, goes full stride throughout the route, head down again, which again, I don't love because you don't have full vision on the corner. So you can't necessarily see how the corner reacts, and it can screw up your timing or speed you up. So I'm not a huge fan of the head down, but I am a huge fan of the body language, right? Forward body lean, full stride, running this route fearlessly, right? We're not running it timidly. We're not trying to prime ourselves before we break. We're running into this full speed. Another good hip drop here, another good trigger step. But as you can see, he's reaching a little bit. See how he becomes airborne here? He's literally reaching and leaping at this break. And that becomes very hard to slam your hips down. And instead of coming all the way down, he slams himself forward a little bit. Watch his butt. His butt never sinks. See how after this foot hits, his butt stays level? We're looking for that butt to sink. We're looking for those hips to drop, right? And we just have to do it by slamming down right here instead of overreaching and leaping at the break point just a little bit. And now what happens is, look at Dobbs' balance compared to AJ's on the last route. Dobbs just a little bit more on his heels here. So now he's not as balanced, and he can't come meet the ball and finish back inside. But what he does do a great job of is catching this ball at full extension, right? So you can see there's multiple ways to win, and we can win while being imperfect. The common denominator amongst both these routes is they're fearless. Fearless, full stride, full body language, absolutely confident in getting to your spot and slamming your hips down. AJ had slightly better hip drop mechanics, right? Just not overreaching on this trigger step and really getting those hips to drop. So he was stopped a little bit better. His balance was a little bit better, and he turned this into a yak opportunity. Obviously, AJ had a little bit more room than 26 did. But even so, we don't even have the opportunity to potentially finish this back inside because we're off balance and because we're on our heels. But a phenomenal job by Dobbs right here, saving the day with full extension, beating the corner to the football. If he lets us get into his body at all, it's going to be a deflection. He catches a full extension, stops the ball as soon as it hits his hands, and now he's making a contested catch on a first down right here. Really good job by Dobbs. Good job by AJ as well. And you can see the difference in how each guy earned their success. But big-time first down, big-time conversions for both guys. All right, the next routes we got in routes like Picasso, the top routes of week 9. All right, these are 2 go balls, right? Stutter go balls, but it's really a concept of, I don't even consider these stutters as much as the concept that Devonta Adams introduced to me, where releases happen in a 5-yard box, right? So many guys think about release plans as what you do right at the line of scrimmage. But when you're playing like a soft shoe inch back corner, the way Deron Bland is here for the Cowboys, right, where Bland's not trying to challenge Smitty at the line at all. He's not trying to get hands on him or make him move laterally. He's inching back and staying over the top. So a lot of times when we play a corner with that sort of style, we don't want to release right at the line of scrimmage because he's just going to get over the top of it and give us cushion. We want to run him down, eat up space, and then we can use that secondary release, right? Releases happen in a 5-yard box. We have a 5-yard box to get this release off and try and get him to stop his feet before we push vertical. So a really great job here by Smitty getting to that point and no return, right? Like a patient approach, sudden speed burst, and then he's pairing routes together. He gets to this point where he could run a hitch, he can run a stop, he could run an in cut, right? There's a lot of different ways where a receiver would burst to this outside edge and then stop right there. So he does a great job pairing that up, pairing this stutter up in that 5-yard box at a place where he would break on a different route and Bland takes the cheese, right? Again, if he had hit a release move right at the line of scrimmage, 26 is going to stay over the top of all of it. He does a good job pushing him to that spot where he's vulnerable, gets him to panic, stops his feet again. Now he's fully committed to like, oh shit, I gave up that inside slant. I got to stop my feet and go steal it. And by the time he gets 26 to stop his feet, now it's over. Devonta Smith does a great job of pushing wide right here so he doesn't get grabbed up, pushing wide to win with speed. Then he goes back inside and holds his line. Good job here with a little hand fighting, right? We don't want to let 26 come back and push us wide. We want to hold our line here and hold our ground. So Smitty, who's not an overly big guy, right, does a good job being proactive with his hands to kind of keep 26 off, give him that little arm bar. And that's all the separation he needs now to keep 26 where he wants him. And now he can fade to the ball late, right? By not letting 26 close the cushion, he knows that with this ball thrown perfectly to his outside shoulder, he's going to win and separate late with that little angle change at the end to go get the ball and find the ball late. Great job toe tapping in the end zone. A lot of really high degree of difficulty here of holding your line so that 26 runs vertical. That gives you the space now to fade to this late where 26 isn't collapsing on you. You create the separation at the catch point. Perfect high hands catch, right? Eyes to the football, gets it tucked while getting 2 feet down in the end zone and protects the ball as he falls. He doesn't fall right on the ball where it can come loose. He kind of turns his body to embrace the fall. Really good route here. Really good catch here from Smitty. Awesome job executing this release plan versus an inch-back corner. Releases happen in a 5-yard box. We have another one here, very similar from Stefon Diggs, right? Going against the Bengals, same type shit. He is now taking a bit of a release at the line of scrimmage. 20 isn't as much of an inch-back guy, right? 20 isn't inching back all the way out of there, right? So Diggs comes up and gives his first release, but still feels like 20's on top of it, right? 20 comes to grab a little bit, and then Diggs gives that second stutter, that second move at the edge of that 5-yard box, right? He doesn't just beat him once. He doesn't feel like he beat him clean, right? 20's still hanging on him a little bit. He doesn't want to make this a contested throw, so he gives another release, another quick change of pace at about, again, pairing the routes together, right? At that slant range, at that hitch range, where he gets 20 to stop his feet again and then burst vertical. Another thing Steph does here, which I've recently learned about Diggs, right? We've all been studying Diggs for a while. He's been one of the best receivers in football for a long time. What a lot of people don't really know about Diggs, the best thing he does is he doesn't let DBs touch him. He's not the biggest guy in the world, right? He's not DK Metcalf. He's not Julio Jones with his power and his size, but this motherfucker never lets DBs touch him. And it allows him to have so much creativity in his route because he can basically run routes any way he wants as long as he continues not to allow DBs to touch him. And it's just another example of that, of knowing that 20 is like a catch technique corner. So here he goes. He's playing a little bit patient. Now you get to that outside edge, and Diggs knows hands are coming. So rather than getting into a hand combat battle and shit like that, he just stops 20's feet and then sheds the hands off, right? He takes away 20's power with the timely hip shift and then immediately getting the hands off, right? You just that little shed right here. Hip shift when he wants to throw hands, make him stop feet. Now 20's lost all his power, shed the hands off, burst vertical, find the ball in the air. Good little speed burst to catch up for the ball. And then obviously a great ball by Josh Allen, man. Hard to put it any better than this. But, it's making it an easy throw because we run such a great route. We make it a solo catch where no one's really around us. And Josh Allen has a lot of room for error here where he could leave this ball to make it a completion. He puts it perfectly. But again, 2 really good examples of winning on a go ball, right? And it doesn't have to happen right at the line of scrimmage. Releases happen in a 5-yard box. Use that to your advantage. All right, next route I want to talk about. This is a special one. It's my dog, Jakobi Meyers, one of my clients, kid I've been working with for 2 or 3 years now. Kobe played great, in a game that ended up being a little bit lopsided against the Giants early. But he came out, I've been on him about starting faster, coming out with a little more energy, just being more focused and just overall his approach is needing to improve, right? And those are mostly things I'll keep between the two of us. But part of that was our preparation for the individuals, for the corners he's going to face, having really disciplined, like having just really exact release plans that we want to use and coming out right away looking to execute those plans, not taking time to feel these guys out. We're doing all this film study. Trust the film study. Trust what you've seen on film and go attack this motherfucker and go put the pressure on him to defend you. It's not about you feeling him out, right? Fuck him. It's not about you feeling him out. Go put the pressure on him right now. Make him defend your best shit. This is a rep I'm very proud of because Kobe did exactly that. This is like the 5th play of the game, first third down of the game. We got Deonte Banks on us, 25, who's going to be a great corner for the Giants. Good young corner, very aggressive kid, got a lot of confidence, a lot of courage in there. Sometimes he's just a little bit overly aggressive, right? He really relies on his hands. He's a jumpy guy where the first sudden movement you give him, he's going to jump and try and put hands on you. So Kobe, who in my opinion has one of the best 1-2 hip shifts, side-to-side hip shifts in the league, we wanted to use that against 25 and really get on his toes and make him feel that sudden shift, right? 25 wants to jump. He wants to put hands on you. Well, we're going to give him something to jump. Go jump this. And Kobe executes the plan perfectly. You kind of got the graphic in the way there. I want to show you from the film copy, a little bit less quality, but you can really see the release, right? Let 25 get settled. Watch 25 take that first read step where he widens his base. Once he widens his base, he's ready to jump you and put hands on you. That's just the way he plays. So Kobe understands his play style, does a great job getting to that spot of gaining ground, a little power hop at him. And then he knows that he can't win by just power hopping and putting a single stick in the ground where he power hops and puts that right foot and just runs. If he just puts that right foot in the ground, 25 is going to get hands on him. 25 is going to collapse on him. He has to attack him and add that 1-2 shift. Attack him and then push him opposite, right? Knowing 25 wants to jump that first sudden movement, just executed perfectly by Kobe. This is Kobe's greatest superpower. and he gets right to work. He's not wasting any time. He's not playing too patient. Put the pressure on 25 to defend your best move right out the gate. And that's exactly what he did. Kobe scored like 2 plays later. So, when you look on Twitter or whatever, that all they were showing was Kobe's touchdown run. But this was really the play for me that made me really proud, just because of the timing. 11 minutes in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 7. My mistake. I said it was 3rd down, but 2nd and 7, first drive of the game, right? And like we want to start fast. We want to come out and make a play for our team and set the tone. Coach just got fired, changing culture. Like, who's going to be the motherfucker that epitomizes what these Raiders are all about? I'm proud to say on this play it was Jakobi Meyers. That's just the mental part of that, of dealing with all the change, all the shit that was going on, to come out locked in this way. I got to give Kobe credit, man. I got to give him credit. We worked hard on it. I've been on his ass all week about just continuing to elevate his mental, and the motherfucker showed up. And if he shows up like this every week with this intensity and this intent and allows his shifts to win, you're going to hear a lot from him, and you're going to continue to see his name soar and rise among the ranks of receivers. He's done a great job kind of establishing himself this year. It's a fucking unbelievable opportunity playing next to Tay and learning from Tay and being challenged by Tay. And shout out to Devonta for really, taking Kobe under his wing and mentoring him. But just a great job of coming out the gate hot, understanding what the fucking plan is, what we got to do to win, executing the plan perfectly, coming out fearlessly, and giving 25. We haven't seen 25. He's never had a rep versus 25. This is their first time seeing each other. So for Kobe to trust the game plan this much and execute the game plan this perfectly, it says a lot about the work we're doing, the work he's doing, and just everything's rolling. Now we got to do this more and more and more. Really great release, great tempo, great 1-2 shift. And now, right, you're wide open in the middle of the field, catching the ball, nobody around you. It's got to be a full speed catch. Catch this football, get right to full speed, and get whatever you can after the catch. No hesitation here. Getting this ball, making it an easy, friendly target for O'Connell to throw the ball to him. He's wide open. And then as soon as we get the ball, we're getting jiggy, getting to full speed, and getting what we can. Really great route here. Really great finish by Kobe. Rep, I'm really proud of and excited to see more of this. All right, a couple red zone routes here that I thought were important to talk about. This is Brandon Powell's little red zone return route to win the game against Atlanta. Little red zone return, right? Playing versus zone. And then we're gonna show one from Turpin from the Cowboys. The same route that plays out very differently. So this one's zone, right? This is 2 high zone. You could tell by the triangle, right? See 1, 2, 3. You got 3 guys over 2. Anytime a defense is playing zone defense, they want to outnumber the offense, right? So if there's 2 receivers out here, they want to have 3 defenders over them. If there's 3 receivers out there, they want to have 4 defenders over them, right? So this is your typical 2 high, whether you want to call it bracket coverage in the red zone or call it cover 2, depends on their rules. But what it means is the inside player is a wall player, right? He has his eyes on the quarterback here, which I don't know how it's taught, but his eyes are on the quarterback, so he doesn't have crazy vision on 4. He can't really see what 4 is doing. He can only feel what 4 is doing, right? And his job is to not let 4 cross his face. So what the biggest thing that Powell does here is the depth he gets, right? Watch Powell push into the end zone so that now when he goes to attack the inside wall player, he's doing it from his blind spot. Look at where Powell is. He's behind the inside wall player. He has no vision on him. If Powell rushed this and tried to run the route from 1 yard in the goal line, well, that wall player is going to see him. He might come grab him. It's just he's not going to get lost the same way, right? So a really good job getting his depth first of all, and then pushing it inside enough where you not only have to get that wall player to come to sink in there with no vision on you, but the safety who does have vision on you, he has to believe the route enough where he at least takes a step inside and puts himself out of position. So there's good poise, good patience, and a good understanding of what the coverage is and getting to the weak spot of the coverage, right? Getting to that defender's blind spot, getting behind the second level, and then selling that the inside stem enough where the safety jumps it. Now you find yourself in the void of that cover 2 defense. Go catch the ball, protect yourself, fall into the end zone, go win the fucking game, man. Really great job here from Powell. Really good route and really good execution in the red zone. Now this next rep, this is Turpin from the Cowboys, right? This is the same route. This is the same route drawn up in the playbook, right? It's a red zone return route. It's a progression route where the quarterback probably has his eyes on the right side of the field and he's coming back to this return route late, right? That's why it's got to take a little bit of time. We got to take time pushing our depth into the end zone, making the defenders go one way and then coming back the other way. Because generally on this sort of route in the red zone, you're like the third read, right? He's got some sort of progression on the right side. That's not there. And we're coming back down to the return route after it time's up. Right. So just a good look at how this route, I almost can guarantee you, is drawn the same way in the playbook, but looks very different based on the defense in front of us. And really good job adjusting this route and running it to win a man-to-man situation. Good release here from Turpin, right? You got a patient catch technique defender who's not inching back at all. He's sitting there flat-footed trying to grab you, right? So whenever a guy's trying to grab us at his depth, we want to get on his toes and shift him opposite, right? Kind of like we talked about with 25 from the Giants. He wants to be a flat-footed defender and grab you. We'll give him something to grab, right? Now you see me, now you don't. Push him outside. Give him that little hip shift to that outside edge right here that he has to defend. He squats on it. And now we got the free release inside. And now 21's in chase mode, right? So now we give the indicators we need, give the body language to the inside, a great little angle change here from 9 at the top, right? He gives that little pressure step vertical, a speed burst vertical, gives 21 time to overplay it and then sinks his hip. And you got to know here, right? When you have a defender in trail technique and you've got him beat and you know he's panicking and you're going to run one way and back the other and cross his face, you have to know he's going to try and grab you, right? These defenders would rather get a defensive pass interference than give up a touchdown. So anytime they're beat, right, and you have a guy chasing one way, but you know you're going to finish back the other way, you have to finish this route physically because just winning with your feet isn't enough. You got to finish this route physically and win with your hands as well and power through those hands. So again, two red zone return routes run very differently based on the coverage. Really good job here from 9, running it to win versus man-to-man. But the thing I love the most here is his awareness to finish this route low, right? He's not popping up out of it. Finish low, drive through those hands, and make a tough contested catch in the end zone. Really good route here. Really good adjustment by Turpin. All right, and speaking of the red zone, man, we got to give everyone's favorite receiver, Odell Beckham, some love here. I don't know how many of you all been following Odell's journey. You know, I've worked with Odell a few times. I have a lot of love and respect for the guy. I don't know him very well at all, but just seeing the way he moves, following his career, nobody has ever dealt with the level of popularity that Odell Beckham dealt with early on in New York. Dudes dyeing their hair to look like him, changing their stance to line up like him. I don't think anyone in the history of receiver play has had the influence that Odell had, right? And that brings with it a lot of baggage, a lot of expectations, just a lot of noise that I don't know how many 25-year-old kids can handle. And Odell did his best navigating it, unforeseen levels of attention and just scrutiny and all kinds of things. And then the dude tears his ACL not just once, but twice. And this is what people don't understand about Odell. What he's doing has never been done. Like, find me an example of someone who's come back from double ACL surgery over 18 months and now is playing at a pretty high level. And he's getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were coming back. Like I was shocked he got paid what he did, not because he's not good enough or he doesn't deserve it, just health-wise. No one's ever come back from a double ACL like this and been just as explosive, right? So, I mean, it's a hell of a commitment from the Ravens, and shout out to him for undertaking the task, you know what I'm saying, and attacking this head on. Like, it just takes a lot of courage to do something like this when there's not many examples to turn to about how to attack this rehab, how to go after an injury that's hard enough to come back from once. You know, then you tear it again, non-contact in the Super Bowl when you're playing your ass off. It just, I feel for the guy. I feel for the guy. And it's really cool to see him back scoring touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? He's getting his legs back under him. He's getting that flavor back. The Ravens are winning. And just one where, you know, I just more than the route, I want to shout out Odell Beckham's journey, man. I just the adversity he has dealt with early in his career, the way he's overcome that and really grown as a man. And when you really just like get to hear the way he talks now, hear the way he carries himself, he's a totally different person, a really enlightened kid now who really speaks with a lot of wisdom. And then just the courage to really fight through this injury, man. I don't think people understand it. All the headlines all summer was, what team will Odell Beckham play for? And I'm sitting there like, is this dude going to be able to play? We don't have any examples of this. Like, it's going to be remarkable if he can get back to any version of himself. And this looks like vintage Odell Beckham. So really great job here from I'm proud of him for just, you know, for battling through, man. I work with a lot of veterans, a lot of guys in similar situations. You know, Mohamed Sanu is my first client. And you know, we went through hell and back trying to just get everything we could out of the end of his career. And it's a really tough position to be in when you've once been a great player in the league and you're trying to provide whatever value you can and get everything out of yourself because you love the game so much and you feel like you have something to prove. And, you know, Odell's on a great team now with a chance to win a Super Bowl and a chance to continue making plays like this. So I love it. Great job using angles inside, you know what I'm saying? Getting 27 to chase and come undercut this. And then you get to the top and you got to give 27 a two-way go, right? You got to slow it down enough and shift enough that 27 uses that momentum from the inside angle to come trail and just use that against him. Let him keep flowing inside, shift him just enough, little hip shift, sink in the hips, head and shoulder fake opposite. But the big thing Odell does, he doesn't really lose any speed, right? You're with the inside angle, you already have 27 momentum coming inside. So you don't need to lose any speed to get him to continue to overplay it. Just keep flowing inside, hit the 1-2 at the top to change his direction, and don't lose speed, really burst out of this break, right? You're getting 27 to flow opposite. You got to give equal energy away from him to really create the separation here. Good job from Odell. Great catch. And again, just really cool to see his journey and see all he's been through. And just for any wideout, you know what I'm saying? It's just studying the position, who loves the wideout position. Got to have respect for everything Odell has done over the years. Glad to see him back scoring touchdowns. All right, last of the top routes of the week before I get to a quick yak note from one of our clients, and we'll end the show right here. Tank Dell, man, this motherfucker been playing out of his mind. Down bottom, I believe this was the game winner. I didn't actually get to watch this game, but I think this is a clutch play at the end of the game. Empty in the red zone, in the high red, right? They get quarters coverage, and he's running this spray nod route, this spray post right here, right? Where the throw is between the corner and the safety. And he's got this little seam route occupying the safety, right? That bender taking the safety out of there inside. So now Tank's job is to run up on this corner and make the corner defend an outbreaking route so that he can break inside without losing speed and open that window inside, right? And he really executes this perfectly. It starts with his body language, right? Look at the initial angle and the initial way he comes off the ball. Shoulders pointed outside, full stride off the ball, making the corner believe, okay, he's running right at me full stride. I have to back up and give some ground because he's coming at me with too much speed. And B, he's attacking I have no help outside. He's attacking my outside shoulder and looking like he wants to win out there, right? This is the thing that you have to understand. You have to understand where defenders have help and where they don't. And generally, when they're playing with a certain leverage, that means they don't have help outside of that leverage or inside that leverage, right? So an outside leverage corner is playing outside leverage because he does have help inside, right? You can see he's got 3 defenders inside where he wants to squeeze you to, but he has no help outside. So if we want to end up winning inside of this, we can't just run inside right now. Otherwise, the triangle will squeeze on us, right? The corner will close down on us. He'll push us inside, and then that gives a chance. Now it tightens that window and gives a chance for one of these underneath defenders to come undercut the ball, right? So the number one thing that Tank needs to do here is widen this zone triangle and attack 24's outside shoulder, right? Force 24 to defend the spot on the field where he has no help. And that's what he does beautifully. His initial angles off the ball, body language off the ball, and then once he gets to the 5-yard line, using this rocker step at the top, right? Hitting the 1-2 at the top, boom, boom. Hard rocker at the top, gets 24 to stop his feet. The key here is not losing any speed, right? You're going to get 24 to stop his feet. You're going to get 24 to redirect. You're not allowed to slow down during that process. You have to stay at one speed and accelerate through the top, right? And that's how you separate. His feet stop. Your feet never do. You have more energy through the cut than he can possibly create, right? Really great job. A lot of details here to widen the zone triangle, make 24 defend that outside shoulder, and then hit the flawless vertical step at the top. 1-2 rocker step at the top, gets 24 on his heels, and now he can break inside with speed. CJ Stroud throws a great ball on time, high in the end zone. Really good stuff right here. Great clutch play, and just cool to see this young duo kind of continue to thrive and grow together, man. Houston's got some cool stuff going on there. A lot of young players, a lot of guys getting opportunities, and they're starting to make plays. Obviously, it all starts with the quarterback, but a really great route here to make this a layup. You know what I'm saying? Like, this could be a contested ball. It could be a tough throw for the quarterback. Tank does a great job making this a layup and making this pretty easy. All right, before we get out of here, just 2 quick Yak clips. If you guys know me, you guys know what I believe in. I'm a big-time Yak believer, right? I just believe that when you are making plays with the ball in your hand, and that's how you define your success, it means everything else leading up to that has to be going well for those opportunities to take place. So when you define your game based on Yak and you take pride in making plays with the ball in your hand, just a lot of great things happen. 2 of my clients I want to shout out, little Yak plays that no one will really see. They're not big plays in the stat sheet, but they do a lot for championship level teams. Both these guys are playing on championship level teams. All right, the first one I want to talk about is my dog Olamide Zaccheaus, the number 3 receiver right now for the Eagles. All right, running this little return route. All right, he runs it versus zone. It looks like man pre-snap. If you look up top here, right, OZ has Jordan Lewis over him, the nickel for the Cowboys. Right, looks like man. Everyone's lined up like man, looking like they're playing straight man across the board. Then when the ball snapped, look at 33, this next linebacker inside, right? He's going to end up being the high safety. He ends up going high and wide to play cover 2. And the nickel right here, Jordan Lewis, he comes off the man-to-man look and actually shuffles inside to be an inside wall player. So a great job from OZ, just being patient off the ball, seeing this all play out. At first, he thinks this is going to be a man-to-man plan. And then as he kind of has his eyes up, he sees the safety flying high and wide. He sees two positioning himself inside as the wall player. OZ quickly realizes what the coverage is, right? He gives enough of an angle inside where, similar to what we talk about in the red zone, two's responsibility in here is to not allow OZ to cross his face. So give him that energy, give him the stem inside to go threaten that zone responsibility. Two has to go protect that by rule, right? He has to go protect it by rule. Great job by O, changing his angle, give him the burst inside. Great break point to get out of this in two very efficient steps, right? But the real key here is the Yak, right? Great job. He knows he's catching this ball here in a cover two triangle. So he knows that there's a corner somewhere on his back, but he's not sure where. And O doesn't have time to turn around and find him. This is 3rd and 6 right here, and he's got to drop step as soon as he catches the ball and get the first down, right? Really great rep right here. Love the just like great fearless Yak and just going right. All the training we do so many drills of catching this ball, catching different footballs and getting upfield seamlessly, right? Just so that these sorts of situations are second nature. And someone like O doesn't get a lot of targets for the Eagles, right? These are the plays that he makes. 3rd and 6, move the chains so we can get back to getting the ball to our scorers, right? He's like the 6th or 7th man off the bench. We're come in basketball. Come in, give us some energy, spark the team, and then we got the guys who we pay millions of dollars to that score 30 points a game. They're going to go back to work, right? And that's a role that OZ has done a great job of accepting and being excited about. And now when his number's called, he's got to make these plays. He doesn't have time to warm up, to feel it out. The ball's thrown to me. I haven't seen a ball thrown to me all day. I got to get busy with the Yak and earn the first down. Otherwise, we're fucking punting. Great job by O being fearless. You know what I'm saying? Not having a lot of balls thrown to him, not in rhythm, immediately going to an aggressive Yak solution and hitting this drop step with his back turned to the corner, knowing that that's the guy who's going to collision him. Really good job here, sticking that foot in the ground, getting himself vertical without being able to have vision on the corner. And he earns that first down, 8-9 yard gain on 3rd and 6. Really good job keeping the chains moving. And then again, another little thing, you guys might think I'm crazy for how much I fucking praise this shit, but we work on it so much. It's great to see it play out, especially with my guys who are role players on great teams. And this is something we're going to do a whole podcast episode about, right? It's just, how do you make plays without the ball in your hand? How do you contribute to a championship culture when you're not the main guy? So I coach Noah Gray, who's the backup tight end to Travis Kelce. Anyone who knows Noah Gray's game, Noah's going to be a great fucking player in this league. He's like year 2, year 3 in the league, young kid out of Duke. He's going to be an incredible player in this league. He's a tough blocker. He runs really good routes. He's great with the ball in his hands. Like, he does everything well. He just needs time to develop, right? But you're not the guy right now. So when you're not the guy, you have to make all these little plays for your team to continue to move, to just keep drives alive so that we can get back into rhythm and do what we do. So here's 2nd and 6. You know what I'm saying? Playing the Dolphins. Dolphins bringing some pressure. And they decide that, you know what? We're kind of backed up a little bit inside our own 20. And the Chiefs decide, you know what? The easiest thing, the best option for us is to get the ball into 83's hands right away and just let him pick up the first down by himself, right? And the Yak transition is what I love right here. A lot of guys would, especially a lot of big tight ends, would catch this ball square, and then after they catch it, turn, face the defense, and it would just take them too long. This is a seamless Yak transition where he's catching, squaring the defense up, and using a hip shift as he catches the ball to shift this corner outside and kind of create this lane inside for himself to pierce and puncture the defense and get this first down, right? It seems like something small, but if Noah wastes 0.5 milliseconds on this catch and isn't just as efficient as he is, he's getting tackled. But because he's so efficient, catching, squaring the defense up, and creating that 1-2 shift as he catches the ball, he's able to hold the corner off who has to stay outside. Look at the corner kind of unable to redirect. He can't get any hands on him. He can't slow him down. And now by the time Noah is collisioned, he's already running full speed with his head down, and he's going to win that battle every single time versus safety because he weighs 250 pounds. Right, so it's just a really great rep here from Noah. 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. We're trusting you to keep the sticks going, and he delivers so that they can get back into a rhythm and get back into their flow as an offense and eventually flip the field. Right, it's a big fucking deal. Little plays like this are a big deal, and I'm very proud as a coach when we work on these transitions all the time, because at the end of the day, guys like Noah and even everyone in the NFL, this shows up more in your game than any of the fancy shit. Our ability to catch the ball smoothly, transition seamlessly. This shows up more than any other part of our game. We're catching a now screen right here, seamlessly squaring the defense up, creating a 1-2 shift, ball's tight and protected, and now we're finishing this reps physically, lowering our shoulder, finishing the run the right way, and moving the chains for our team. Again, something that won't show up on the stat sheet other than a 6-yard gain. But when it comes to playing winning football, this play from Noah, the last play from OZ, Like, these are plays that championship teams have to have. Both these plays are made in the Super Bowl. It's one of the biggest plays of the game, right? It's a play that you look back on and you're like, wow, that was a key play in the game. That's what these guys are priding themselves on, right? They're priding themselves on being the glue and being the role player that makes the key play that ultimately makes a difference in the biggest game. And they're continuing to master their craft and take pride in their details so that when those opportunities come, because they don't get the opportunities in volume, we have to take advantage of each one of them. We have to be perfect in our mechanics and in our details so that we can thrive. Proud of both these guys, two young guys who are continuing to build a reputation in the league and continuing to play meaningful snaps for two of the best teams in football. Love to see it. Love to be back in the Routes Like Picasso vibe this week. All right, that's a wrap. Officially done with episode 1 of your 2023 version of Routes Like Picasso. You can catch some of the summaries on Instagram. Again, leave anything in the comments that y'all want to see next. Any topics you want us to cover. I know we had a comment last week about someone was asking about keeping your confidence when playing with a quarterback who's a little bit subpar. We're going to talk about that next week and a whole bunch of other things. We're going to make this a lot more interactive. So if you have questions, continue to leave them in the comments. We will make this part of our show to answer all your questions. If you ever want direct access to me, you can DM us on Instagram at Sideline Hustle. DM me on Twitter at Coach Liebs. If you know me, you know I'm one who's always going to respond to those messages, good, bad, whether you trying to shit on us, you asking questions, you trying to praise us. I always love engaging with you guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for all the years of support. Happy to be back in the groove. And that's a wrap for week 9. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
From the sidelines, we gotta hustle, cause we gotta eat.